Greetings. Welcome to Dr. English's Book Lovers Book Club. I'm Dr. English and I teach English. Today I'm going to review one of the books that my students in fall of 2024 had on their list of uh, 38 books that we read. And This was a book club book by one of the group of students. And it's called Pride of Baghdad, and it's by Brian K. Vaughan and Niko Henrichon. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name. It seems like a French name. Henrichon, something like that. But it's got a beautiful cover. That's the artwork is by Niko, and the story is by Brian K. Vaughan. I found this really an interesting choice by my students because I know it's supposed to be young adult, but it seems to me that it has a little bit more adult themes in it. And you have, this pride. There's like a male lion named Zill and an old female named, I want to say, what is her name now? Sarah, something like that. And then there's Nur is the younger. She's the mother of a little a little cub lion. And this is really about the bombing of Baghdad, but it's kind of interesting because, of course, they're all anthropomorphic. They've, made the animals take on human characteristics. And at the very beginning, you kind of get this exchange between the animals, the different animal species, about how they're trying to get out and be free. And then they start bombing back. The U.S. obviously is bombing Baghdad, and they start bombing Baghdad. And then all of a sudden, all these animals are free, and it's like utter chaos. And you have a group of monkeys that are, very threatening. And there's a scene in here where there's like a donkey that's skinned, and they're all, all lions are like, why are they just throwing us this huge donkey? Because they usually get rabbits every day to eat. And so they're really confused by that. And then they look up and see that the keepers are leaving for obvious reasons, that they're getting bombed. And the whole entire city is being bombed by the U.S. military. And so then it just becomes like, it's just chaos for all the animals. All of these animals, animals from the African continent are allowed, left to roam the streets of Baghdad. And of course, if they have no zookeepers, they're all going to be hungry. And so there's, that kind of tension in the story. And then there's always this tension between the older female and the younger female, and like, what's the best thing to do. And Zill, is not like, like a youngster either. And so they're trying to figure out like what they should do. And so they're roaming the streets of Baghdad, and they're, just trying, number one, just to figure out what they can eat, but also they're fighting amongst themselves about what they should do. And I think that's the part that's just like, what do you do? And they come across, there's like, for instance, they come across a turtle and they decide they're not going to eat the turtle. And they have like an antelope or something, and it was one of the animals that Nur had befriended, because they had talked about getting away and together. And it's like, in the animal kingdom they would never do that. The lions would kill the antelope instantly for food. And so they're domesticated. They've been kept in a zoo, so things have animals change once they've been fed all the time. And so, the thing about this is, like, there's some historical significance. You see some of the images from Baghdad, so I think the number one thing about this book that is astounding to me is the artwork. And so here's the scene. It's kind of, you can see the destruction of Baghdad. And here are horses that are in Baghdad. They're just running free, and you can see kind of the smoke and the destruction of buildings in this picture, and the rubble. And here, the lions have a great opportunity here with these, horses. But they don't attack the horses, because, for one thing, the bombing and everything is killing, some of the animals that got out of the zoo. So it's really just a story of survival. Then they, find like a palace, and this is all fictionalized, but it kind of gives you an idea of, what did Gaddafi have? How did he live, and what Baghdad looked like. And then this is a great one too. Is they come across a bear, and this is a great graphic of this gigantic bear that they face in their wanderings around the city of Baghdad. All the while, the troops are coming in, in tanks and and then you have foot soldiers who are coming, and those soldiers, they don't have any idea what they're up against. With all these animals that are been loosed on the streets of Baghdad. There's one last photo I want to share, because they were talking about, like, when they were free, when all these animals were free. Of course, sorry, the little guys never known anything but captivity, but all the others were captured, and so this is a picture of the sunset on Baghdad. It's just strikingly beautiful. And I get the impression that the sunsets in Baghdad are still that beautiful. I don't know if the city still looks like that, but it's really quite stunning from my perspective. And let's see, I could probably read a little bit about what kind of things here. I'll read a little bit about the turtle when they come across this turtle. Okay, let's see. The turtle says, get the hell away from my tigress. This is the river. Huh? I'm not a tigress. I'm a lion, and I certainly don't belong to you. Tigress is the name of the river, dummy. Rivers have names? Everything's got a name. It's how we make crap belong to us, and this stretch of crap is my fishing hole. Calm yourself, turtle. We're just here to drink. Really? In that case, be my guest. Maybe you'll scare the hawkbills away. There is some profanity in here. I forgot to mention that. So they're talking to the turtle. I don't remember hearing about any of your kind living in the zoo. Zoo? I'm no cage dweller, lady. Why? That where you two busted out of? Yeah. The sky fell on our old house. Oh, not that again. This has happened before? More than once. Last time was a dozen or so years ago. A dozen? How old are you? I hatched during the first big war, back when the sinkhole was still an empire. First war? Listen, my people and I haven't been here nearly as long as you. What's this all about? It's about losing your wife, your kids, every worthless friend you've ever made. How'd they get lost? There's black stuff under the earth, boy. Poison. When the walkers fight, they send it spewing into the sky and spilling into the sea. Walkers? You mean the keepers? Keepers, two-leggers, man. Don't matter what you call them, they're all the same. What are they fighting about? Don't know. I don't. Damned if I know, son. Well, here's them talking to the turtle, who's trying to enlighten them a little bit about the elements of war and why they're fighting. So you kind of get an idea. And like I said, there is a little bit of profanity, and there's a couple other scenes in there that are just kind of like, I mean, they don't tell you exactly what happens, but you kind of get an idea of what happens. So for my pre-service teachers, I particularly think this is one that I would definitely just keep it on the shelf and, give to students as supplemental reading if they're big fans of graphic art and graphic novels. And of course, my students did it as a novel. They did it as a book talk or book group, a book club. And so you could do that. I would definitely probably stick to high school students with this because of the profanity and some of the violence in it. There's some violent images, in my personal opinion, in this. And so I would definitely stick to high school with this book in particular, simply because of some of the language and simply because of some of the images and some of the references that I think are probably a little bit above what I would consider appropriate for middle school. But one of the highlights of this is actually the artwork. And it's got this, the cover is this orange color, and it's just like that is a color theme that is throughout the whole book. Is like you're in the Middle East. It's like orange, and those kinds of shades of orange are a part of the landscape, but also it's a reference to the bombings too, the constant flash of that orange, bright, intense fire. And I think that was really thoughtful on the artist's part to do that, to kind of give you that overall, it's just like overreaching color in the whole book. So thank you for joining me. I look forward to next time. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you then. Bye.